Hey, it's Pastor Mike Conklin here at Zion Good News Lutheran Church in beautiful downtown Sandusky, chilly, beautiful, snowy Sandusky on February 20th. We'll be looking at Psalm 37 today and the Gospel from Luke 6:27 through 38. We only get part of the Psalm today. It jumps from 1 to 11, from then 39 to 40. So this psalm is a wisdom psalm. It really aligns itself with the Genesis text and the gospel text pretty well. It talks about the certainty of retribution for those who do not obey the law, who are evil, who are wicked, who do not follow the statutes and all of those things, and reward for those who do follow the law and the statutes and the will of God. There is this theme that runs through here, much like the Genesis text that we talked about with Joseph and his brothers, that Joseph would definitely seem to be entitled to retaliation against his brothers who sold him into slavery, but he does not. He forgives them. And again, the lesson from Luke talks about how we are to love and forgive and not hold grudges or retaliate against those who do evil to us. This one also has that element of not only evil doers in general, but those who do evil to us. Let's go ahead and read 37, 1 through 11, 39 through 40. Do not be provoked by evildoers. Don't get sucked in. Don't be duped by evildoers. Do not be jealous of those who do wrong. Even though it looks like they may be prospering, even though it looks like things may be going well for them, don't be jealous of them. For they shall soon wither like the grass, like the green grass fade away. Again, reward and punishment. If you are good and obey the law, you are rewarded. If you are bad and disobey the law, you are punished. Put your trust in the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and find safe pasture. Take delight in the Lord, who shall give you your heart's desire. So there's that reward. Commit your way to the Lord. Put your trust in the Lord and see what God will do. And then there's this legal line in here, because then we know we're dealing with the law. The Lord will make your vindication as clear as the light. Vindication, a legal term. And the justice of your case, justice in case, like the noonday sun. So again, we have this allusion to the courtroom of God. Be still before God and wait patiently. Do not be provoked by one who prospers, the one who succeeds in evil schemes. Refrain from anger, leave rage alone. Do not be provoked, it leads only to evil. For evildoers shall be cut off, and those who hope in the Lord shall possess the land. In a little while the wicked shall be no more. Even if your search is out of place, they will not be there. So the idea here is do not be impatient. Don't be impatient just because you see something happening to these folks who are doing evil, that there seems to be prospering from it. Don't get impatient. They're going to get their comeuppance eventually. But the lowly possess the land, and they shall delight in the abundance of peace. And then it jumps to 39. The deliverance of the righteous comes from you, O Lord. You are their stronghold in time of trouble. You, O Lord, will help them and rescue them. You will rescue them from the wicked and deliver them, because in you they seek refuge. So the certainty of retribution for the wicked, for the evil, for those that are doing things not necessarily against us, but just in general. And we see these things and we witness these things in life, and we go, well, is this fair? Is God letting them get away with this? And the answer is no, God doesn't let them get away with it. But whatever their punishment is, whatever happens to them is up to God, not to us. We are to remain faithful. That's the idea. We are to remain faithful, no matter what's happening around us, no matter who we see prospering from evil ways or whatever. We are to be living a life of grace, love, and forgiveness, which plays in well, I think, with the Genesis text and the Joseph story, and also with the gospel text from Luke, where Jesus is. This is a. I wanted to say. It sounds like this is about us, but it's about Jesus, and Jesus is saying, "Be like me, be like Jesus." So we have the ultimate expression of the cross in this. Bless those who curse you and pray for those who abuse you. If you remember Jesus on the cross, Father, forgive them, they don't know what they're doing. That's a pretty powerful wow there. If you love those who love you, what credit is that due you? Credit is actually the Greek word kairos, which means grace. So what grace is that to you? Even sinners who love you, for even sinners love those who love them. If you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? For even sinners do the same. So he's really slam dunking people for just, being nice and helping those who are like them. Excuse me. The juxt of this, or the geest of this, your reward will be great in the children of the Most High, for he is kind to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful as your Father is merciful. So, in other words, be merciful like Jesus is merciful. Be forgiving like Jesus is forgiving. Do not judge, or you will be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. So, sort of like the lex talionis, do unto others as they do unto you, but not really. That this is don't do to others as they do unto you. There's no room for anger in this text. We can't get angry at people for them doing things that we might disagree with. We are to love them and to care for them, be merciful to them. I thought about diversity, equity, and inclusion when I was reading this, that that has become sort of a buzzword nowadays, diversity, equity, and inclusion, that we should be doing that. And we use it as, again, a way to designate people that we're going to retaliate against. And we're not supposed to be retaliating. The whole idea of being woke, again. We don't retaliate against people who are woke. As a matter of fact, the word woke comes from a racial understanding. A lot of people don't know that, but it was black businesses who welcomed, or white businesses that welcomed black clients were considered woke. So that's where the word comes from, and now it's become a derogatory term by the right, against people, and it includes everything. When it originally didn't include everything, it was just really a racial designation that these shops or these people were accepting of black folk. And now they've turned it into something it isn't. So again, they've used it as a weapon or derogatory term to retaliate. We're not retaliating. We are not to be retaliating against anybody for anything that they do. We are supposed to be imitating Christ. Yes, it sometimes I don't do that, but being a sinner doesn't disqualify me. But I don't want to be a sinner. I want to do what God has done and has already done. I often talk about our default mode being it's all about me and what I have to do. Well, if it's all about me and what I have to do, then what we need to do here is we need to be loving, caring, forgiving, and merciful. We are to be opening up our hearts to people, who we deem unacceptable. That it's not about who we think deserves it. A lot of times when people come looking for assistance at church, and I help them, and people say, "Oh, you shouldn't have helped them," or "They shouldn't have done that," or "I know that person, they take advantage of the situation." Well, they may have taken advantage of me, but I'm not going to take advantage of them. And I tend to fault on the side of helping people rather than on the side of withholding help. Again, we are to be thinking about what Jesus did and behaving like Jesus. I mean, we don't have to do that to be saved or to be welcomed into the kingdom, but if you believe, why aren't you doing those things? What's stopping you from doing those things? And that's the tie-in to the Genesis text, where Joseph has every right to retaliate against his brothers for selling him into slavery and almost killing him, and him ending up in prison and basically estranged from his family. But he doesn't do it. He doesn't do it. Joseph doesn't do that. He forgives his brothers, and he saves all of Israel, brings them down to Egypt and feeds them so they don't die in the famine. I mean, and that's a pretty powerful story. I mean, I think I told you Tuesday, that's one of my favorite stories in the Bible. Let's read Luke 6:27 through 38. Jesus said, "But I say to you that listen." So are you listening? I have a question mark. Are we listening? "I say to you that are listening, love your enemies. Do good to those who hate you. Bless those who curse you. Pray for those who abuse you. If anyone strikes you on the cheek, offer the other as well. And from anyone who takes away your coat, do not withhold even your shirt. Give to everyone who begs from you. And if anyone takes away your goods, do not ask for them again. Do to others as you would have them do to you." Okay. So that starts out pretty powerful. Again, bless those who curse you and pray for those who abuse you. That seems to be the key here, as Jesus did that on the cross. If you love those who love you, what credit is that, or what grace is that to you? Or even sinners, for even sinners love those who love them. If you do good to those who do good to you, what credit is that to you? Again, what grace is that to you? For even sinners do the same. If you lend to those to whom you hope to receive, What credit is that to you? Even sinners lend to sinners, to receive as much again. But love your enemies, do good, and lend, expecting nothing in return. Your reward will be great, and you will be children of the Most High. For he is kind and to the ungrateful and the wicked. Be merciful, just as your Father is merciful. Do not judge, and you will not be judged. Do not condemn, and you will not be condemned. Forgive, and you will be forgiven. Give, and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be put into your lap. For the measure you will give will be the measure you get back. I think we have to be very careful about that. So it's not a question. It's like the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. It isn't saying our trespasses are forgiven only if we forgive those who trespass against us. Our trespasses are forgiven. We should be forgiving the trespasses or the sins of others. Again, it's not that we won't be judged. We won't be judged, but we are not to judge. We are not to condemn, because we aren't going to be condemned. It's not like if I don't condemn someone else, then I won't be condemned. It's not like that. It's like you should not condemn. Don't worry about what happens to the other person. You shouldn't be doing that, because again, you're going to be forgiven. You should be forgiving other people. Does that make sense? Again, it's not, what is it, tit for tat, something like that. You don't go, if you do this, you get this. If you do this, you get this. That's not what it's saying. It's saying do this. Do this. Forgive, love, live your life anew. Don't hold grudges. Don't retaliate. Don't judge. Don't condemn. Forgive. Pretty simple, actually. I'm going to have to look at this sermon again, because I think I was going down a different road, when really I think the writers of the lectionary are really trying to get us to this non-retaliation. When the message initially starts out with the divine will versus the human will, that the divine will is that we forgive. Human will is that we retaliate. I'm going to have to think this through, because it sounds a lot like law, but it's not. I don't want it to be law. I want it to be gospel. So we are forgiven even if we don't forgive. We're not disqualified, but we're to forgive. Again, it's, what you do won't save you, but what you do is important. What you do is important. It don't have a job. It don't pay your bills. Won't buy you a home in Beverly Hills. Won't fix your life in 5 easy steps. Ain't the law of the land or the government. 'tis the first day of the rest of your life. 'Tis the first day of the rest of your life. 'Cause even in the dark, you can still see the light. Gonna be alright. Gonna be alright. And love will hold us together, make us a shelter to weather the storm. And I'll be my brother's keeper. The whole world will know that we're not alone. Hold us together. Gracious Lord, hold us together with love. Help us to put away the envy and the covetousness that we so often have in our lives, where we covet other things and other people. Help us to see your will and to live your will, to be the forgivers, to be the ones who are merciful, the ones who are caring, the ones who are loving. Help us to change our lives to be in line with your life and your will. And through you, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen. All right, well, that's it for today. I got a busy day ahead of me, and until we meet again, peace.